Now we're going to dive into the exciting world of CSS, and we're going to target some of these things that we've put on the screen already, such as our class for recipe, our ID of seafood pasta, and maybe we'll look as well at targeting individual tags. So to get started on that, the first thing we're going to do is go to File, New, and then we're going to save this. File, Save. We're going to go into the CSS folder and name this, let's call it Design CSS. You can actually name it whatever you like. It makes no difference. And we'll just leave it as that for now. Let's go back to our index page. And then up here in the head section, which you don't see on the screen, we're going to go to Edit. And we're going to go to our Insert HTML Elements, which is the HTML skeleton plugin. I'm going to click on here to insert an external style sheet. So we click Done. And all it does is it just puts this one line in here, which is link. It tells it it's a style sheet, and then we put the link in here to it. If you notice, the href is the same as the link that we have when we're linking out to other pages. So inside here, we start typing CSS, and you can see it already starts to auto-complete it. You can click on there, and there's only one file in there, which is design.css, so we click that. And now the two are connected together. So I want to talk, first of all, to recipe. So I'm going to pull up design. And to talk to a class, I use a full stop, a period, or a dot, whichever you want to call it. And in here, I'm just going to add some simple structure to this just so that we know immediately it's done something. So let's say the width of this is 50%, which means it's not going to be the full width of the browser anymore. Let's save that. Let's pull up the live preview. And there we can see immediately that it's changed the width of the page. Now I can say in here, if I want it centered, there is a strange way to center a page. Margin 0 top and bottom, auto left and right, and that centers it. So now there we can see there are our margins either side because we're on that line there. It's highlighting it for us. It's not really blue, it's just highlighting because we're on that particular line. And we click on this line, it shows us the width is 50%, and click on this one, it's the margin. And now we can see we've added structure to the page. Now the other thing that we've done on here is we also said that this had a unique ID of seafood pasta. So let's go in and talk to seafood pasta. Now because it's an ID, it has a hash at the beginning of it. And then maybe in here, we just put in a very light background color. And I'd use RGB to talk to this because it's kind of easier. Okay, so that's an exceptionally light grey background. And as we can see in here, we now have an exceptionally light grey background on the screen. Let's add a little bit of padding to the inside of this. And what that does is now puts in a padding around the edge of this in here, so that it doesn't sit all to the edge. Now one other thing that we want to look at is just targeting the A tag. So any tag can be done just without adding a prefix. So no dot, no hash, just the code as it is. Then inside the brackets here, let's say that we want this to be padding of 10 pixels. So another grey background. Okay, we could change the text decoration to none, and then we can see there is that looking a bit more like a button. While we're a long way off making this look like a professional design, we still now have learnt how to target very specific things using CSS. We know how to do an ID, we know how to do a class, and we know how to target just a tag on its own.